collective, how you doing? Gonna do a quick check-in, see what's happening. What do we need to know? Ooh, Spirit, what does the collective need to know? We've got the Seven of Cups in the upright, so we've got lots of opportunities or illusions. Somebody having lots of choices or wishful thinking. Challenged. Challenged by the Sun in the upright. So somebody could be losing control and they're challenged by the Sun by somebody who's a joyous, positive, and happy person. Experiencing a new beginning. So they could be challenged by your new beginning. Somebody who's under an illusion could be challenged by your new beginning. In the subconscious, we've got the Emperor in the upright. So a father figure, a boss, some sort of a leader, a protector, an authority figure of some sort. Very much into structure, rules, and power. So, in the recent past, we've got the Six of Pentacles reversed. So in the recent past, we've got somebody who was doing a one-sided charity. They were about power and domination. They've got unpaid debts. And the intentions and expectations. Is the Six of Cups reversed. So they're expecting to be forgiven. But it could be that they have to leave home. They could lack empathy for others. Power and domination. And in the near future, we got the Knight of Swords reversed. So in the near future, somebody's burnt out, restless. They could be acting unpredictably with a disregard for consequences. And the lens they're looking through is the World in the upright. So they're looking at completion. They're looking at the end of this cycle. And in the environment, we've got the Page of Cups reversed. So somebody's emotionally immature, insecure, and disappointed. Hopes and fears. Hopes and fears, Ace of Swords, so in the upright. So this is the truth. Truth is coming out. Alpha. And the outcome is the Knight of Cups reversed. So disappointment. disappointment, disappointment, jealousy. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Wands reversed. Somebody who they lack direction and they want to create conflict. So we've got somebody here under an illusion. So it came out like this. So courage came out in the reverse. So they're under illusion. They could be, their courage could be failing them. They're challenged by a positive, happy person who's just, you know, very warm and joyful. And there's going to be a success, all is well, yeah, and a rebirth for you, collective. You're receiving this beautiful rebirth. You know, the Emperor is here making sure that nobody's going to screw that up. So the challenge but it is that you are receiving a rebirth. They're challenged because you gave up all beliefs that didn't assist in your soul's growth. Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So they're challenged because you gave all that up. Anything that wasn't assisting you in growing and expanding, you gave it up. You didn't focus on it. You didn't waste your energy on it. In their subconscious, they got this Emperor in their mind. They can't get this Emperor out of their mind. He's here offering discipline. Discipline. Growth. Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness, but it came out in the reverse. So yeah, these ones, they don't, in their subconscious, they're thinking about this Emperor who's here with the sun, and they don't want to expand their consciousness or their awareness. They just want to be stuck in this illusion, delusion thing. They're not willing to accept. They're not willing to accept the things that they can't change. They're not willing to accept the things that they can't change. They're having difficulties. So they're all about power and domination, one-sided charities, you know. Surrender. I can release my need to control, but it came out in reverse, so they're not able to release their need to control. And blame came out in reverse. I accept responsibility for my well-being, but it came out in reverse. So they're not accepting responsibility for their well-being either. They think that their well-being is somebody else's responsibility. And it looks like the Emperor is here to show them that that's not necessarily true. You know, they're not interested in growth. They're not interested in accepting the things they can't change. They want to blame other people, and they're not going to surrender their need to control stuff. They want to dominate and have power over others. That's just the way they want to do it. And their intentions and expectations is that So they're lacking playfulness. You know, they want to gain independence. They want to move forward. Could be that they're expecting forgiveness. They're trusting their inner voice, like they're totally listening to their inner voice. Now, who knows what that is? You know, if they're in this particular collective, it could be that they are also part of a hive mind. And if they're trusting their inner voice, then they could be, you know, trusting whatever that is, you know. So we've got a Knight of Swords reversed, a Page of Cups reversed, and a Knight of Cups reversed. All younger fellows, insecure and disappointed, immature, moody, jealous, unpredictable, impulsive, unfocused. Oh. And we've got failure. So yeah, so he's restless and unfocused, burned out. He's very impulsive, and he's failing. Um, he's failing to learn. He's got a disregard for consequences. The lens they're looking through is that this is the end of the cycle. This is the end of the cycle. This card came out in the reverse, and it says success on it, and it says, I know that there is no greater goal than to love. But they don't know that there is no greater goal than to love. They're looking at the end of this cycle, but they haven't learned that there is no greater goal than to love. So they can't really, you know, they haven't learned to grow and expand their consciousness and their awareness. They haven't learned to accept the things that they cannot change. They are into power and power over others and dominating others, blaming others for their lives, and they want to control everything. So yeah, it's completely different than this sun energy that has, you know, gracefully given up everything that doesn't contribute to their soul growth. This is you. You're this bright, shining star or sun, and you got this like a father figure or a respectable leader here with just protecting this. So Page of Cups, emotionally immature in the environment. So it could be that they're not able to get out of their head. They're stuck in their imagination. I embrace and nourish their creative aspect of my mind. So they're not able to be creative. They're not able to use their imagination. They're not able to use their imagination to manifest. They can't manifest. They're emotionally immature, very insecure, and they've got creative blocks. They have problems imagining things, so they can't manifest. So in the hopes and fears, we've got Ace of Swords, which is the truth, right? And gratitude. Gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it represents. And in the outcome, we've got a Knight of Cups reversed. So somebody who's moody and disappointed, you know, they got an overactive imagination and they're jealous. They're jealous because you're the sun and you've got this and you've completed a cycle. This person is disappointed and jealous. They're in denial and they're full of pride. So honesty. It's, you know, honesty. Can't always accept the truth from others, but I can accept it from myself. So it looks like, you know, these who have a lack of direction and they're creating conflict, they're going to have to be honest with themselves. They're going to have to be honest with themselves. I mean, eventually they won't be able to support the lie anymore because it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. It's wishful thinking. They can't support the lie. So they lack courage. They're in an illusion. They could be doing some dark prayer, some dark religious practices, or some dark prayers because they don't want to be homeless. They see that you're the sun and all is well for you. You've released everything that inhibits your soul's growth, and including guilt. You've released everything that burdens you. You are a radiant sun. And they've been stopped in their tracks, and you have triumphed over the adversity that they brought you. The Emperor is here, the respectful leader, who is the authority figure, and he is rationing out protection and discipline right now. These ones, they didn't want to expand their consciousness or their awareness, and they refuse to accept the things that they cannot change. They could be in a third-party situation, and they're not able to persevere through this. And worry. So hesitation came out in reverse. So you're not worried. You're not worried. You're not concerned. You're not confused. You're not confused by whatever it is that they were doing. They weren't able to persevere. So they're into power and to having power over others and dominating others. They blame others for their shitty lives, and they have to be in control of everything. But it's still everybody else's fault when things fall apart. It could be that they're offering an apology now because they're facing loneliness. They're facing homelessness. They know that they're gonna be lonely. They don't want to be lonely, so they're facing homelessness. They don't want to be lonely. They need this connection. So they're listening to their inner voices, or whoever their counselors are, their coaches. They could have to leave home. Oh, they could have to leave home because they weren't able to steal. They weren't able to steal the life path of the sun. So they're restless. This Knight of Swords is restless and unpredictable. Got a disregard for consequences. Whatever he's doing, it's failing. He doesn't have any alliances. So you, who are the sun, and you are triumphant. This has been stopped. The Emperor is here, and you're completing a cycle and celebrating life. You're entering a period of optimism and joy. These ones, they haven't learned the lesson. There's no greater goal than to love, and they don't know that. So, they don't get the completion. They want it, but they haven't learned that there's no greater goal than to love, because all they were interested in doing is rituals, the rituals. They were using their imagination. They were trying to manifest things by doing rituals. And now they're in fright because they all backfired. The imaginations, the rituals, they're in the reverse, so they backfired. And now they're in fright. Yeah, maybe they didn't visualize correctly. Maybe they weren't able to use their imagination correctly, or maybe they used their imagination in a very dark way. Maybe they used their imagination in a very dark way. But this says emotional immaturity and creative blocks, which tells me that they weren't able to they don't fully have a functioning imagination, so they weren't able to visualize, and they have fright. So, and they're not in this loving energy, so they're in this, restless, unpredictable, emotionally immature, moody, and jealous energy, and they're failing. Their imaginations are failing them, and they don't have any alliances. Their rituals are failing. They're suffering from depression, maybe, or paranoia. They could be very frightened because they are facing homelessness. They could lose everything for how they've been treating others, for how they've been treating you. They could be kicked out, but they're apologizing now because they don't want to be lonely. They're going to try to come in and, I don't know, say it'll never happen again. What? But this is their profession. This is what they do. It's what they do. But they didn't manage their time well. They ran out of time. So in the hopes. So we've got the sun protected by the Emperor, and we got the completion of a cycle for you, sun, and also truth and clarity. Ace of Swords is here with a whole mind, body, life full of gratitude. Mind, body, life full of gratitude. So these ones, the truth is that these ones they cursed you, the sun, they cursed you. They cursed you. Here you are. You're a truthful person, you're an honest person, you're an alpha, you are ambitious and pioneering, you lead in originality, you're a grateful person, you have a grateful heart, you're this wonderful son who has triumphed over all of these challenges, and yet these ones are still, look at this, they're cursing you because they want you to be rejected. They want a rejection of this reunion that you got coming in. You've got a loving partnership, a reunion, from a past life, perhaps from even, before you were even here in a human form, like from where your essence originates from. It could be that you are reuniting with that. And that's what this end of the cycle is. You're going home. You're reuniting with the essence that, you completed the cycle. It's time to begin again. So you could go back to where you once started in memory lane, with the last person you saw before you entered this realm. But they cursed you because they want you to be rejected. That's the truth of it. You're a person of gratitude. You're a very grateful person, and that's what they did to you. That's what they did to you. They're moody, they're disappointed, they're jealous, they're in denial, they're full of pride, but justice is going to be served. There will be no compromises. There won't be any compromises. They have to be honest with themselves. All they did was create conflict on everybody's spiritual path, and they did not earn themselves any merit whatsoever by interfering with other people's merit-making process. So, I'll do a couple more passes. Collective. This is good news, though. I mean, you're the sun. The Emperor's here. The truth is exposed. The truth is here. The truth is exposed. They cursed you to try to prevent your reunion. Now they're in fright because everything backfired. Huh. They're in bad health. So they're in an illusion, they're daydreaming, searching for purpose, wishful thinking, they're facing homelessness, they're in bad health. They're lacking courage, they're doing dark rituals or prayers, dark religious practices. You're the sun, you released everything that held you back, and you stopped this attack, you triumphed over it. They're facing court. They have to go to court. Or maybe you triumphed in court. In their mind, they're thinking about this emperor who's and they're also thinking about this marriage. So there's the emperor here and a marriage card here. So they're thinking about this emperor and this marriage with the sun. They're going to court. They refuse to expand or grow their awareness. They refuse to expand their consciousness or grow their awareness. They refuse to accept things that they cannot change. They're into these third wheel relationships. They weren't able to persevere through whatever it is that they had going on here. And they were not able to put you in a state of confusion or worry. You're not hesitating at all. There's this marriage here. There's an emperor here. By golly, son, you might have yourself an emperor relationship coming up. So these ones who are in bad health, they are into power and having power over others and dominating others. They're blaming everyone else for their own shortcomings. They refuse to surrender control. So I don't know how they can blame others for their well-being. They want to apologize. They want forgiveness because they're facing loneliness now. Yeah, they're concerned. Okay, so they're concerned. They're concerned here and they're offering apologies. They're facing loneliness. They want a courtship. They want a courtship because you have a gift. But they want to steal your gift. It's the same old, collective games, whatever, their hive mind likes to do to people. Yeah, see? Oh, it's a whole community of people. It's a whole freaking community of people, of false people. But they're hiding. Nobody, they're hiding. They're not wealthy either. Like, they're definitely not spiritually wealthy, that's for sure. But they wanted your divine union. And they're doing the same games that they've always done, that have worked probably for many cycles, many life cycles, many generations. But not this time. Whole community of people. They're not getting what they were expecting. They're restless. They have a disregard for consequences. They failed. They don't have any alliances, and they're not getting what they were expecting. There is a completion. This is the completion. The end of the cycle. They did not learn that there was no greater goal than to love. They're having difficulties with their imagination. Their rituals aren't working. They're in fright. Could be suffering paranoia. Could be a female here that's not a privileged lady who is in fright. And then the Page of Cups in the reverse, an emotionally immature person who's disappointed. Their imagination is lacking. They do this as a profession. They do this. This is what they do with their time. This is how they spend their time. They have a schedule, but they weren't able to. They missed their schedule. Missed their schedule. Yeah, they were coming against the main female. You got somebody who's not a privileged lady. You got a third wheel situation. So you got somebody who's not a privileged lady. Page of Cups, Knight of Cups. Six of Pentacles, reversed. Page of Cups, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords. So there's three masculines. And a potential older person here who's in bad health, facing homelessness. You got somebody who's not a wealthy man and another false person here. Boy, there's a whole freaking community of people, man. This is wild. Coming up against you, the main female, who's the sun, who has released everything that inhibited your soul's growth, and you've completed your cycle. You're going to be entering this beautiful marriage. Wow. Toil and labor, toil and labor. Toil and labor, yeah. They worked very hard, toiling and laboring on this curse to get this, to stop this reunion, to break that reunion. They worked very hard on that curse. But they didn't have, their imaginations were lacking. Which is odd because it's their profession, so they're just not very good at what they do, I guess. And we got the mature woman up there and the outcomes. So moodiness, disappointment, jealousy. That's a Knight of Cups in the reverse. Knight of Cups. So, but this is a mature woman, so that could be her son. She was trying to get him hooked up with this son, with you, main female. So if this mature woman got her son hooked up with you and then got rid of you, then he could hook up with this person who's not a privileged lady, and then they could enjoy your abundance. But that's not quite the way it went down. He's not the main male. Wow, man. Bad health, facing homelessness, lacking courage, doing dark religious practices, lost. They feel like they've been abandoned. But there's a deeper connection coming. They just don't know it, and I imagine it might take a while to get there. So we've got this sun. You released everything that inhibited your soul's growth. You were able to stop this attack. You were able to triumph at the courthouse, or your triumph is causing this person to have to go to court. And adrift, it could be that it's time to settle down and put down roots. This sun who's been out there, blowing in the wind, this beautiful sun, adrift, time to settle down and put down roots. We got the Emperor here with a marriage card. needs. If emotional needs aren't being met, it's time to reassess. Touch is important too. So I suppose, before you marry, or if you think about it, just to consider that touch is important. There's some people in this world who have had relationships, and marriages that didn't have touch. So if it's a partnership, I suppose, a business partnership, that's one thing. But if it's going to be a personal marriage like this, then you might want to consider intimacy. But it doesn't look like you're going to hesitate here. If emotional needs aren't being met, it's time to reassess. But it doesn't look like you are hesitating. So these ones who were coming up against you are in the collective that's all about having power over others and dominating others. And like they use love to escape traps. They use love. They get involved with people so that they can escape whatever karma that they've got coming to them, and then they offload that karma onto whoever they hook up with. That's how they do it. Yeah. So they wanted you to feel struggle. They wanted you to feel like you weren't being supported. They wanted you to be hurt. They wanted you to feel like you were getting burned, like you can't trust anybody. I think they wanted you to feel as though your needs weren't going to be met. I think they really wanted you to be stuck in a third wheel relationship. They wanted, I think, to use, the sexual energy against, but it works is so often, with people because, from the time that they first have sex, they spend the rest of their lives doing it, and then upset when they don't, they forget who they are. Anyway, what do I know? That's just a limited perspective. Very limited. So we got pieces here. You're always picking up the pieces. And this tells me, because it came out in the reverse, you won't be picking up the pieces anymore. You're going to be getting the full package. These ones, they don't have the alliances. They're not going to get what they were expecting. Their plan failed. You're not going to have to pick up the pieces anymore. And so just forgive, and just release that. What that means. Don't hold on to it. So even though they're doing all this, you've got something real solid coming in here where you won't have to be picking up the pieces. So just release whatever these ones did to you and move on. Because if you refuse to carry it, they have to carry their own load. So don't carry anybody else's rocks. Don't put anybody else's rocks in your backpack. You've got a completion here. Okay, and these ones, they have a limited imagination. Their rituals didn't work. They didn't learn that there's no greater goal than to love. They're not a privileged lady. They're in fright. They neglected some things. They were not paying attention to what was important. And they got themselves all tangled up in a sticky situation. And they're frightened. They're frightened. They got themselves all tangled up by a ritual that backfired. So in the environment, which is what everybody can see, there's a Page of Cups reversed. Somebody's emotionally immature, very insecure and disappointed. Creative blocks. Imagination again is in the reverse. So they don't have a real strong imagination, although this is their profession. This is what they do to get ahead, is they, do these dark religious practices and then strategize like on a schedule against their target, which in this instance is you. So, but it's a rough road. It's very rocky. It's a very rocky road right for them. They're going to have to decide whether it's worth it to keep going. But we got in the hopes and fears, we've got here a curse because they wanted to break up your coming reunion. And they worked really hard at it. So you are a person of truth. You've got mental clarity, and you also have great gratitude in your life. The truth is exposed. These ones could be at a distance, who are cursing you, trying to break all this up. This could be stuff happening in the astral. You probably don't even know who these people are. It's a whole community of people. Now that could be for some of you, and for others of you, this could be a family situation, It could be that there's been some arguments between a low vibrational family member and a high vibrational family member, and there could be a father figure stepping in and saying, or a husband stepping in, and protecting his marriage, his upcoming marriage to this sunny individual, So and we've got the mother figure here, the mature woman with the Knight of Cups reversed. And she's trying to get this Knight of Cups reversed in with the Sun, into this new cycle so that they can then, get rid of the Sun and then give it to this person who's not a privileged lady. It's the same stuff that they've been doing over and over again. Many flames, many flames. How many flames have they put out over time? It can take many flames to find the right one. How many flames have they put out? They're in denial. They're full of pride. But justice is going to be served, and there will be no compromise. for this mature woman and whoever this other person is. They will be leaving, or somebody's going to be leaving. They've taken it as far as it can go. Walking away is the best thing they can do. And I think I'm going to leave it there, because that to me says a lot. It says to me that you're gonna be getting this marriage with a very authoritative, respected, disciplined leader who is very stable and reliable, and you're not even going to hesitate. You've triumphed over all of those who tried to stop you from getting this union. You will not be picking up the pieces anymore. You just release everything that's been done to you and move on. Move on. You're in this, you're resting in truth, a person of great gratitude. You are the main female. I hope this helps. I'll see you on the next one.